Let me ask you something. How many of you have ever felt like giving up on your dreams? How many times have you stared at the mountain of challenges in front of you and thought, this is too much, or I'm just not cut out for this? I want you to imagine for a moment that you're standing at the base of that mountain, watching 97% of the people around you walk away, giving up before they've even started the climb. But then there's that small group, the 3%, they're the ones who don't quit. They're the ones who rise, who push, who refuse to back down. And today, I'm going to show you what separates them from the rest of the world. I'm going to show you how to be in that 3%, how to rise above the noise, the fear, and the doubts, and achieve the success you've always dreamed of. Most people never make it to their dreams. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. 97% of people fail to live the life they truly desire, fail to achieve their potential, and fail to rise above the ordinary. But you're not like them, are you? I don't believe you're here to be part of the 97%. I believe you're here to break through. You're here because you're ready to defy the odds, to step out of your comfort zone, and to take your shot at greatness. Today, I'm not here to tell you that success will be handed to you on a silver platter. I'm not here to sugarcoat the journey. I'm here to tell you that the road to success is hard. It's relentless and it's full of obstacles. But it's also a road that only the 3% will walk. And I'm going to show you exactly what separates those who make it from those who never even try. What separates the 3% from the 97% isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's mindset. It's commitment. It's the refusal to quit when life knocks you down. Today, I'm going to share with you the principles that will keep you in that 3%. I'm going to teach you how to overcome fear, stay disciplined, take action, and build resilience so you can rise above the rest and step into the life you were always meant to lead. Are you ready to join the 3%? Let's dive in. 1, the power of mindset. Your mindset is the foundation for everything in your life. It determines how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately how successful you become. There's a famous saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. This simple phrase captures the core of why the majority of people never make it. They are trapped by negative beliefs, limiting thoughts, and a mindset of lack. They believe success is reserved for others, for the lucky ones or the gifted ones. The 97% of people who fail carry these mental blocks. They see obstacles as signs they aren't meant to succeed, and setbacks as proof that they don't have what it takes. These people often live their lives in the safety of mediocrity, avoiding risks and new opportunities because they are paralyzed by the belief that they will fail. And in many ways, they create their own failure by believing that they will. On the other hand, the 3% of people who make it to the top understand that their mindset shapes their destiny. They choose to believe in the power of their potential, even when the world around them says they are not enough. A positive mindset allows them to persist when times get tough, bounce back after failures, and see setbacks as a chance to grow, not as a reason to quit. This mindset doesn't ignore problems or difficulties. It faces them head on, knowing that they are simply part of the journey. Those who succeed understand the role of self-talk, the internal conversation that you have with yourself. If you constantly tell yourself that you can't do something, that you're not good enough, or that success is for others but not for you, then your reality will match those thoughts. However, when you challenge these limiting beliefs, tell yourself that you are capable and focus on the possibilities, your actions will begin to align with those positive thoughts. Shifting your mindset is a daily task. It requires intentional focus on the way you think about yourself, your circumstances, and your future. The 3% train their minds like athletes train their bodies. They practice gratitude, visualize their success, and refuse to let negativity shape their perception of the world. This is the first step in breaking out of the cycle of failure, the understanding that what you think is what you will become. 2, commitment over motivation. Motivation is a fleeting feeling. Some days, you wake up feeling energized and ready to tackle the world. Other days you want to stay in bed, binge, watch Netflix, or skip the gym. Motivation is temporary, and if you rely on it alone, you will never achieve greatness. This is where the 97% fail. They wait for motivation to strike them, to magically appear when they feel like doing the work. But they miss the essential truth. Motivation doesn't drive success. Commitment does. The 3% of successful people understand this principle. They know that success doesn't happen because they feel like it, but because they commit themselves to their goals, regardless of how they feel on any given day. Commitment is the ability to push through even when the excitement has worn off, even when the journey gets tough, and even when setbacks try to shake your confidence. Think about it. Successful people don't wake up every day jumping out of bed, ready to conquer the world. They wake up, commit to their goals, and act even when they don't feel like it. Commitment is the decision to do what needs to be done, no matter what. It's about showing up day after day, regardless of whether you're feeling inspired or not. Commitment is about resilience. It's about pushing through the hard days, the challenges. The 97% look for shortcuts and easy ways out. They want quick results without doing the hard work. When things don't go as planned, they throw in the towel. They lack the deep commitment that true success requires. The 3% have a different approach. They make a decision and they commit to it with their whole heart. They may doubt themselves along the way, but they don't let doubt stop them. They take daily, consistent action toward their goals. They understand that achieving greatness isn't about waiting for a moment of perfect inspiration, but about creating momentum through consistent effort. 3, The fear of failure, fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience as humans. It can protect us, guide us, and prevent us from making dangerous decisions. But it can also paralyze us. The fear of failure is what holds back the majority of people from even trying. The 97% of people who fail often don't fail because they don't have the potential to succeed. They fail because they are too afraid to try in the first place. The 97% are terrified of failure. They worry that failing will make them look bad, that it will be a reflection of their worth, or that it will confirm their deepest fears, that they are not enough. So they hold back. They don't take risk. They don't step out of their comfort zones. They play it safe, and in doing so, they ensure their mediocrity. The 3% understand something different about failure. They understand that failure is simply a part of the process. They know that failure is not a reflection of their character or their abilities, but rather a lesson, a necessary step on the path to success. They embrace failure as feedback. They understand that failure gives them the opportunity to improve, learn, and grow. Failure doesn't scare them, it motivates them to do better next time. If you want to be part of the 3%, you need to reframe your relationship with failure. Instead of fearing it, welcome it. Failure is not your enemy, it's a valuable teacher. The 3% learn from every failure, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. They know that you cannot achieve anything of worth without failing along the way. Failure isn't a dead end, it's simply a detour to greater success. Taking responsibility, one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is take full responsibility for your life. The 97% often find it easier to blame external factors, circumstances, other people, bad luck for their lack of success. They point fingers at their upbringing, their education, their circumstances, or their environment. They make excuses. They don't take ownership of their failures or successes. They believe they are victims of their situations. The 3% take a completely different approach. They take full responsibility for their lives. They understand that while circumstances may not always be in their control, their responses and actions are. They don't let outside forces dictate their fate. Instead, they choose how they will respond to challenges. They understand that true power comes when you stop blaming others and start taking ownership of your choices. Taking responsibility means that you no longer have the luxury of making excuses. It means acknowledging that your current situation, whether good or bad, is the result of your actions or inactions. This understanding frees you from the trap of victimhood. The moment you take responsibility for your life, you take control of it. When you start owning your decisions and actions, you stop waiting for circumstances to change. You start making things happen instead of letting life happen to you. The 3% take responsibility for their failures, learn from them, and keep moving forward. They don't wait for a handout or for someone else to solve their problems. They solve them themselves. 5, sacrifice and discipline. In a world of instant gratification, most people are unwilling to delay their desires. They want everything now, success, wealth, recognition, happiness, but they want it without the struggle. This is where the 97% fail. They are looking for shortcuts, the easy way, the magic pill. They want success without understanding that real success requires sacrifice and discipline. The 3% get it. They know that achieving anything of value comes at a cost. They are willing to sacrifice their time, energy, and comfort today for the reward of success tomorrow. They understand that while others are enjoying temporary pleasures, they are putting in the work, building the foundation for a future that will be far more rewarding than the instant gratification the 97% chase after. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The 97% don't have the discipline to follow through when things get hard. They are inconsistent, jumping from one goal to the next without ever committing fully to anything. The 3%, however, understand that discipline is the key to consistency. They show up every day even when they don't feel like it. They keep their promises to themselves and refuse to let distractions or setbacks derail them from their purpose. Sacrifice doesn't mean giving up your happiness or your well-being. It means choosing to do what's necessary today so that you can have the life you want tomorrow. The 3% are disciplined enough to delay gratification, focusing on the long-term rewards instead of the short-term pleasures. 6, taking action, dreams, plans, and ideas are all wonderful, but without action, they are nothing more than wishful thinking. The 97% of people who fail often get stuck in the planning phase. They talk about their ideas, they read books, they take courses, they listen to motivational speakers, but they never take that critical first step. They fall into the trap of analysis paralysis, thinking they need more information, more time, or more perfect conditions before they can act. They make the mistake of thinking that thinking about their goals is the same as making progress. In contrast, the 3% are driven by action. They know that success is not built on ideas alone, it's built on doing. Every successful person understands that to get results, you have to put in the work, you have to take risks, you have to make mistakes and learn from them. Success doesn't come to those who are waiting for the right time, it comes to those who make the time right through action. Taking action isn't about waiting for everything to align perfectly. It's about doing the best you can with what you have and adjusting as you go. The 3% know this. They make decisions quickly, take action, and refine their approach along the way. Every step they take is one step closer to success. They understand that even small actions add up to big results over time. This is the most significant difference between the 97% and the 3%. The 97% are paralyzed by overthinking and fear of making the wrong choice. The 3% are willing to move forward even if the path isn't clear. They understand that taking action is the only way to move closer to their goals. Every day, They take bold steps toward the life they envision, and they don't waste time waiting for the perfect conditions to show up. 7, resilience in the face of adversity. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. In fact, failure and adversity are not exceptions. They are a part of the process. The 97% of people who fail often view obstacles as signs to quit. They throw in the towel when the going gets tough. They look at challenges as insurmountable walls rather than opportunities to prove their strength and character. When they face adversity, they shrink away. They ask, why is this happening to me? And they often give up. The 3%, however, see adversity differently. They understand that setbacks are temporary. They understand that nothing worth achieving comes without its share of difficulties. The 3% are resilient. They get knocked down, but they don't stay down. They rise again and again. They view adversity as the perfect environment for growth. When challenges arise, the 3% don't ask, why me? They ask, what can I learn from this? Resilience isn't about being immune to pain or frustration. It's about refusing to let those feelings control your future. The 3% bounce back faster because they know that each obstacle is a stepping stone, not a roadblock. They develop the ability to persist even when circumstances seem to be against them. One of the hallmarks of resilience is the ability to adapt. The 3% are flexible. They are willing to adjust their strategies when things aren't working. They don't get stuck in their ways or insist that their first plan will always be the best plan. They embrace the challenges of life and they continue moving forward no matter how many times they stumble. Resilience is about building that mental muscle to keep pushing forward, knowing that your journey is just that, a journey. There is no perfect, smooth road to success, and the 3% understand that it's the difficult moments that define their strength. 8, surround yourself with the right people. Your environment shapes your success. The people you spend your time with have a tremendous impact on your mindset, your goals, and your level of achievement. The 97% are often surrounded by negativity, by people who tell them they can't do something, that their goals are unrealistic, or that they should be happy with what they have. They are influenced by others who have low expectations, and as a result, they lower their own standards. They may even listen to the voices of people who have already failed, who try to warn them against the dangers of taking risk or pursuing greatness. But the 3% understand that success is often the result of who you know, and more importantly, who you spend your time with. They actively choose to surround themselves with people who inspire them, challenge them, and push them to be better. They seek out mentors, coaches, and peers who are more successful than they are, so they can learn from them and elevate their own standards. The 3% understand that you can't grow if you're always the biggest fish in your pond. They deliberately position themselves around individuals who challenge their thinking and expand their horizons. They seek people who are passionate, driven, and optimistic, people who encourage them to dream bigger, think outside the box, and push beyond their comfort zone. The 97% are too often influenced by the opinions of the wrong people. They're surrounded by voices that bring them down, that dampen their spirit, and that limit their potential. If you want to be in the 3%, you must take a hard look at the people around you. Are they building you up or holding you back? Are they helping you grow, or are they feeding into your self-doubt? The 3% deliberately curate their circles and protect their energy. They understand that to go far, they need to surround themselves with people who elevate them. 9, focus on long-term vision. The 97% often get caught up in the short-term distractions of life. They live for the weekend, the next vacation, or the next quick win. They focus on immediate gratification, the easy wins that provide temporary pleasure. But this is a recipe for failure. Long-term success requires a long-term vision. The 97% fail because they can't delay their gratification long enough to build something lasting. They want instant results without putting in the sustained effort required to create lasting change. The 3% understand that success is about the long game. They make sacrifices today in order to enjoy the rewards in the future. They don't let the short-term pleasures and distractions take them off course. They keep their eyes on the horizon, understanding that the journey to success is a marathon, not a sprint. The 3% break their long-term goals into smaller, manageable steps, but they never lose sight of their vision. They don't get discouraged when they don't see instant results. They trust the process. They are willing to sacrifice short-term satisfaction for long-term growth. They know that consistency, hard work, and discipline will eventually pay off. If you want to be part of the 3%, you must develop the ability to focus on your long-term goals and dreams. Learn to delay gratification and stay disciplined enough to make choices today that will lead to a better tomorrow. The 3% understand that patience, persistence, and long-term vision are essential to achieving greatness. 10, continuous learning and growth. The 97% often stop growing once they reach a certain level of success. They get comfortable, they stop learning, stop evolving, and stop pushing themselves to grow. They think they've learned enough or accomplished enough, they become complacent, and as a result, their progress stalls. The 97% fail because they think that success is a destination, when in fact it's a journey. The 3% understand that success is a continuous journey. They are relentless about learning. They read, study, attend seminars, seek mentorship, and surround themselves with people who challenge their thinking. They understand that there is always room for improvement, always something new to learn. They know that no matter how much they achieve, there is always more to discover and more to master. Continuous learning is not just about acquiring more knowledge. It's about expanding your capabilities and constantly growing as a person. The 3% understand that growth doesn't stop when you reach a goal. It's an ongoing process. They actively seek to improve themselves, whether it's learning new skills, improving their emotional intelligence, or expanding their mindset. By always learning, the 3% keep themselves sharp and adaptable. They understand that the world is constantly changing, and to stay ahead, they must keep evolving. They invest in their personal development because they know that this investment pays the highest dividends in the long run. Now, as we stand at the crossroads of possibility, the question remains, what are you going to do next? The 97% will hear this speech, nod their heads, and go back to their comfortable routines, staying in the safety of their doubts, their fears, and their excuses. But the 3% will take this moment and make it a turning point. They will decide right here and right now that they're done playing small. They will commit to a mindset that empowers them, take action despite their fear, and keep pushing even when the world tells them to stop. They will rise because they understand that their destiny is not defined by their circumstances, but by their choices. You see, it's not about whether you fail or succeed at the first attempt. It's about how many times you get back up. The 3% aren't perfect, but they are persistent. They know that success isn't just a moment of glory. It's the result of consistent, determined action day after day through the highs and the lows. They embrace failure as a lesson, resilience as a necessity, and discipline as a non-negotiable part of the journey. So I ask you again, who are you going to be? Will you be part of the 97% who quit, who settle for mediocrity, or will you choose to be part of the 3% who rise, who break through the barriers, and who achieve the extraordinary? The choice is yours. The power is in your hands. You have everything you need to succeed. All you have to do is act. Now is the time. The 3% don't wait for opportunity. They create it. Go out there, take responsibility, work with relentless commitment, and make your dreams a reality. This is your moment. Let's make it count.